Okay, in this video, we're going to take a quick look at the MySQL Workbench. It's a little software that installed when we installed MySQL, and it's actually really cool. It gives us a graphical user interface, a GUI, for our MySQL database. So now, throughout the rest of the course, we're going to be doing mostly all of this stuff in Python, but I just want to spend a few minutes kind of looking at this software because it's really cool and you'll find it useful, for debugging, for making sure you've got things correct, and generally just looking at your database. Sometimes it's better to just look at it instead of running a Python program and pulling data out manually. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. But go to the little search thing and just type in MySQL. And the first thing that pops up will probably be the MySQL Workbench. And ours is version 8.0 CE, which is Community Edition, I think, which is the free thing that we downloaded, the free version. And let's pull this over. And this is it. So it's really cool. You see right here, we have our little instance of MySQL that's running. Here's root, localhost. You can add other connections or whatever. And we have some things here on the side. So I'm just going to double click this and boom, this thing pops right up. And this is it. It's sort of everything right here. And it kind of looks overwhelming. There's a whole lot of stuff here, but it's not too bad. So over here, you see these schemas. When you create database tables, a schema is created. It's sort of like a snapshot of the database. And you can see we have three of them already, three tables, or three databases, I should say, already installed. And that's because when we installed MySQL, stand this a little bit, we installed some documentation and example data. That's what this stuff is, some of this example data. So here we have this world database. Inside we have some tables. So if we click on that, we see city, county, country, city, country language, and some other things. So let's click on city. And we have even more. There we have columns, ID, name, country code. So let's go on name. So if we double click this, right up here it just says name. So see this little lightning bolt up here? This allows us to run SQL queries, and we'll talk about SQL queries coming up in some further videos from now. But basically, whenever you do anything to the database, whenever you pull data out, push data in, do anything at all to a database, you're running a query, and the query language that we use is SQL. That's why we call this MySQL. So this is just a very basic SQL command, I guess. If we hit this little thing, see error code. Yeah, that's not a good SQL command. I'm gonna go ahead and close this or delete it. Okay, instead, let's right click here. And what we wanna do is select rows, limit 1000. If we hit this, boom, we get this actual graphical user interface representation of all of the names in this specific column in this specific table, I guess. So we see Kabul, Brita, I don't even know what some of these are. Tigra, San Fernando. And we can expand this to make it bigger. Sydney, Perth. It's just a list of, it looks like, city names around the world. And here's the actual SQL statement of the SQL query. Select name from world.city. And we'll talk about SQL queries and things like that later on. Not that important. Let's see. Let's go back. See if we can get a better view. I'm just going to click this city table here. Let's click the entire thing. So we have name, country code, district, and population. Cool. Interesting data here. And we don't care about this data. This is just example text that came with this. But kind of interesting. Let's go country, see what's in countries. So we right click, select rows. Basically what we're doing here is we're selecting the first 1000 rows in this table, right? Oh, all kinds of stuff in this one. So we have the name, Aruba, continent, North America, region, Caribbean, surface area, population, life expectancy, all kinds of neat information here. We might play around with this a bit. Government form, republic, non-metropolitan territory of the something. Fun. Head of state. George W. Bush. So I guess the head of state of America Samoa in Oceania, which is in Polynesia, is George W. Bush. I don't know about that. This must be a little bit outdated. Capital codes. Interesting. Very cool. So, and this is just, just a way to look at your data. And going forward, we're going to build our own tables and put some sort of practice data inside of them. And we can come in here and look at them in here if we want to. It's kind of useful from time to time. So, if you're doing like web development, you're not going to probably use this workbench. But if you're doing something locally, and you just want to visualize your data, you just want to see it without having to write a bunch of Python code to do it, this is a great way to do it. So not only can you see things, but you can actually add things and edit things. Say we want to change Aruba. We can call this Arubas if we want, right? And we just come down here. Well, actually, we tab away, and then we come down here to apply, click that, and it creates the SQL code for us, update world country, where we want to set the name equal Arubas, where the country code is ABW. So if we apply that, done. If we come up here and run this again, Arubas, oops, disappeared completely. Let's run it again. There we go, Arubas. Very cool. And if we double click this, we can change it back again. Hit enter, come down here and apply this again, and boom, it's back to Aruba. Refresh it, boom, Aruba. So very cool. And we'll come back to this workbench from time to time as we go through this course, just to sort of look at things and, teach you a few things here and there that are interesting. Excuse me. But yeah, very cool. Comes free with MySQL. That's the MySQL Workbench, and that's all for this video. In the next video, we'll start to actually write some more complicated Python code in order to create tables and add our data and do all the fun stuff. That'll be starting in the next video.